Welcome! This week's video is more in the format of a book club interview. Watching You by Lisa Jewell. Watching You was a suspenseful read. In what ways do you also think the novel was like a mystery?
The mystery begins with a murder being introduced in the very beginning, and we jump back and forth on the timeline with these detectives doing recorded interviews with the characters, while we also go into real time with the characters narrating it themselves, taking turns between each chapter, which I like to call popcorn narration.
While there are many different characters, we read the story from the perspectives of Joey, Freddie, and Jenna. Why did the author focus on them?
Joey, for some reason, stood out to me as the main character. I think she had the most struggles. Freddie now is another main character. He's just a young boy struggling through school. He's very observant, so we learn a lot from him. Jenna's also a young character. She's observant of her headmaster, who is Freddie's father. She's observant of her mother, so we learn a lot about other characters through her as well.
Why do you think everyone was infuriated with Tom?
I think everyone had their own theories of Tom, whether they suspected him of something evil or they just found it too hard to believe that he was so perfect. Everyone just had a lot of questions about him.
How would the book be different if it was written from Tom's perspective?
We would have learned some very interesting things about him. Honestly, there might not be much of a story if we knew his thoughts, because he is one of the biggest mysteries of the novel.
What happens next to all the characters?
I'm usually not one for reading epilogues and prologues. I think this novel, it is worth reading those because you do get a little glimpse a couple years into the future. You do learn a little bit about what these characters do at the end of this murder and how they move on with their lives.
What would you rate this book?
After checking out your rating system, I would give it page turner. It starts a little slow, but it definitely picks up and you're really into this mystery. It's almost a twist, too. There are definitely a couple twists even in the last 20 or so pages.
What's your next read?
My next novel that I started reading already is called The Couple Next Door by Cherie LaPena, I think is how you pronounce it.
Thanks for joining us. Sure was fun to have the opportunity to pull in another reader.